The morning of October 6th, 2025, began with a deceptive calm. The world seemed to hold its breath, bathed in a gentle golden light that promised nothing but peace. Yet, beneath the surface, something felt different. An unspoken tension lingered in the air, as if nature itself was waiting for something to unfold. Katie Thurston woke up energized, ready for a long hike on a trail she'd been eager to explore. She moved through her morning routine with a sense of purpose, her mind already wandering to the winding paths and fresh air that awaited her. The anticipation of adventure filled her with excitement. As she sipped her coffee, she noticed a line of dark clouds gathering on the horizon, a subtle warning. The sky, once clear, now hinted at a brewing storm. The wind picked up ever so slightly, rattling the window panes and making the trees sway in uneasy rhythm. She considered postponing, but her adventurous spirit won out. The idea of turning back never truly crossed her mind. Instead, she felt a surge of determination. This was the kind of challenge she craved, the unknown calling her forward. Packing a rain jacket, she drove to the trailhead, the air growing thick and heavy. The countryside rolled past her window, fields and forests, darkening beneath the swelling clouds. Each mile brought her closer to the edge of the storm, and her excitement only grew. The sky darkened, the world eerily silent as she arrived. Even the usual sounds of morning seemed to fade away, replaced by a hush that felt almost sacred. Birds quieted, leaves stilled, nature holding its breath. The forest seemed to pause, as if waiting to see what would happen next. Katie looked up, determined, feeling the thrill of stepping into the unknown. The challenge ahead was daunting, but she felt alive, her heart pounding with anticipation. She zipped her jacket, tightened her shoelaces, and set off toward the looming storm. Each step forward was a promise to herself, to embrace whatever the day might bring, no matter how unpredictable. The sense of suspense was electric, the adventure irresistible. The air crackled with possibility, and every sound, every movement felt amplified by the tension in the sky. She walked directly into the heart of whatever the day would bring, her spirit undaunted, ready to face the unknown with courage and curiosity. Less than 20 minutes in, the first cold drop of rain hit Katie's forehead. Within seconds, a torrential downpour transformed the trail into a muddy river. The world blurred into gray as rain hammered down, thunder cracking overhead. Lightning flashed, illuminating the woods in stark white. Katie's heart pounded. This was no ordinary shower, but a full-blown thunderstorm. Her hike had become a survival challenge. The trail grew slick and treacherous, every step a risk. Adrenaline surged. Her only goal now was safety. She scanned for shelter, mind racing. Another thunderclap shook the ground, urgency rising. The storm was relentless, demanding immediate action. Katie knew she had to move, fast. The storm wasn't waiting for her. Instincts took over as Katie searched for cover. Staying near tall trees was dangerous. She needed something low and solid. Through the sheets of rain, she spotted a rocky outcrop, a shallow cave, her best option. She veered off the trail, slipping and scrambling over mud and roots. Lightning flashed overhead, thunder urging her on. She dove into the rocky shelter, breathless and soaked but safe. The storm's roar was muffled here, rain cascading over the entrance. Shivering, she caught her breath, heart pounding. She trusted her instincts and found safety. Relief washed over her in the small, dark space. For now, she was out of the storm's direct path. Huddled in her rocky enclave, Katie's fear faded, replaced by laughter. The cave echoed with the sound of her giggles, bouncing off the stone walls and mixing with the distant rumble of thunder outside. For a moment, she forgot about the storm raging just beyond her shelter and let herself be swept up in the ridiculousness of it all. She looked like she'd gone swimming in her clothes, hair plastered to her face, shoes squelching with every step. Hiding from a storm in a random cave wasn't exactly on her hiking itinerary, but here she was, soaked, shivering, and somehow completely amused by her predicament. The absurdity made her grin. Her friends would turn this into a meme, no doubt. She could already picture the group chat lighting up with jokes and playful teasing, her muddy face immortalized in a screenshot. She pulled out her phone, recording a quick, muddy video. Today's hike took an unexpected turn. I guess I'm starring in my own survival show now. She tried to keep her voice steady, but laughter kept bubbling up. 10 out of 10 would recommend for adventure seekers. If you're looking for a spa day, maybe not so much, but for a story to tell, this was gold. Humor was her superpower, honed during reality TV chaos. She learned to laugh at herself, to find the punchline even when things got tough, and today was no exception. She thought of ridiculous group dates, mud wrestling, embarrassing songs, now quaint compared to this. Those moments had seemed wild at the time, but nothing compared to facing down a thunderstorm alone. This was a real challenge, just her against the elements. No cameras, no producers, just raw nature and her own determination. She realized how strong and self-reliant she'd become. The storm had tested her, but it hadn't broken her spirit. Instead, it revealed a new layer of resilience. If she could handle this, she could handle anything. The world suddenly felt a little less intimidating, and her confidence soared. The storm was just another wild group date, and she was determined to win, no matter how muddy or messy things got. Thunder rolled, but now it sounded more like a dramatic soundtrack to her own adventure, rather than something to fear. Katie smiled. She wasn't scared anymore. She was ready for whatever came next, knowing she could always find a reason to laugh, even in the wildest chaos. As the storm raged outside, Katie's mind wandered to rose ceremonies, those moments filled with tension, drama, and the weight of a single life-changing decision. She remembered the anticipation, the way hearts pounded as names were called, and the symbolism of a single rose handed over in the spotlight. Now, in her stone shelter, she realized she was facing a ceremony of her own, a ritual not of romance, but of survival and self-discovery. Thunder became the music, lightning the dazzling lights, and the relentless rain felt like the collective tears of every challenge she'd ever faced. But this time, there was no audience, no one to impress. She was choosing for herself, her own survival, her own path, not the approval of others. The rose she fought for was her own safety and well-being, a symbol of her determination to keep going, even when the world felt wild and unpredictable. This was her story, her strength, her decision to stand tall in the face of adversity, no matter how fierce the storm. She thought of friends who'd weathered their own storms, each one finding courage in the darkest moments, and how their resilience inspired her now. This felt like a graduation, a final test of resilience, a moment to prove to herself that she could rise above the chaos and claim her own future. She was earning her own rose, one brave choice at a time, each step forward a testament to her inner strength and growth. Watching lightning illuminate the trees, she felt a sudden clarity. She was choosing herself, embracing her journey, and letting go of old fears. In the heart of the storm, Katie wasn't just surviving, she was reaffirming her own power and discovering a new kind of freedom within herself. Gradually, the storm lost its fury. Rain softened, thunder faded. Katie peeked out, patches of blue sky, sunlight breaking through. The world glistened, washed clean and peaceful. She waited, then stepped out, breathing in the fresh, rain-soaked air. The trail was muddy, but the chaos had passed. She walked back slowly, shoes sinking in the mud, feeling accomplished. She hadn't panicked. She'd acted, laughed, and endured. The adventure was frightening, but exhilarating. Driving home, windows down, she felt inspired and renewed. The greatest adventures, she realized, are the ones you don't plan for. The sky was clear now, full of promise, and so was she.